Hello and welcome to another edition of the Catholic Weekly News. I'm Maureen Awaz and here is the news from the week that went by. The All Goa Catholic Educational Institutions Day on the theme Educate to Uphold Human Dignity While Building a Caring Society 2020 was organized by the Archdiocesan Board of Education, Panjim. Father Sebastian Mascarenhas SFX, Superior General of Society of Pilar, was the chief guest. Most Reverend Philip Neri Ferrand, Archbishop Patriarch of Goa and Daman, presided over the function. The teaching and non-teaching staff who have rendered 30 years of service in the education field of pre-primary, primary, secondary, higher secondary and college sections respectively were felicitated with a memento and certificate. Here is a report.
Let us rise up to experience the presence of divine light as we light the traditional lamp. Requesting His Grace Most Reverend Archbishop Philip Neri Ferrand to address the gathering.
We are here for yet another annual celebration of the All Goa Catholic Educational Institutions Day, to celebrate and to reflect together on the great mission that we have all undertaken in forming the minds and the characters of those who will soon replace us in building the human family wherever they are placed. Our Catholic educational institutions have earned the esteem and the respect of our society, and even of the people in the governance, as we go ahead, ever growing as effective agents of transformation in our society.
Let us be still and turn our hearts and minds to God as we partake in the prayer service animated by the students of St. Xavier's High Secondary School, Mapsa.
Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship His holy name, sing like never before, oh my soul, I worship Your holy name. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul.
Lord, in everything, may we set an example by doing what is good. Tune my words with enthusiasm to spread Your ministry.
Ladies and gentlemen, kindly put your hands together while the civilian is being released. Please put your hands together to our chief guest as I invite him to enlighten us and share his experience.
We have a lot of things to say about education, and I won't tell you again, you have so many seminars. But today's stress is on the human. And that is one word that is very, very important perhaps in today's society, being human. As a theologian, and as also having been involved in education, we must know that our raw material, I'm putting it very grossly, our raw material is the human person.
This perception of a human person made in the image and likeness of God has to take precedence over everything else. And when we call holistic education, it means to develop a person like God made him. Good, caring, sharing, like Jesus showed us what image of God is can be seen in Jesus for us. From the very beginning, education to enable people to be good and caring and sharing like Jesus has been the goal of every Catholic institution.
Konkani Kala Kendra Mirses inaugurated Dr. Jack the Sequeira Square at Mirses Valley Junction in the memory of late Dr. Jack Sequeira, father of the opinion poll of Goa, 1967. The beautified place has been blessed by Father Brito Furtado, parish priest of Our Lady of Mirces Church, with a cutting of the ribbon at the hands of Tony Fernandez, MLA, Santa Cruz constituency, in the presence of the daughters of late Dr. Jack Sequeira, Dr. Lily, Manuela and Maria Teresa Sequeira. The Konkani film Padrik Naona, written and directed by Valerian Vaz and Viraj Salkar, was premiered at the Ravindra Bhavan, Margao. The chief guest for the day was the Art and Culture Minister Govind Gaude, and the guest of honor included Reverend Lumen Montero, Bishop of Agartala Diocese, besides Superior General of the Society of Pilar, Father Sabi Mascarenas, Father Clifford Cardozo of Santa Cruz Church, MLAs Alash Regina Lorenzo and Francis Silvera. The film has been produced by Valerian Vaz. The Botanical Society of Goa, an association of plant lovers from all walks of life, organizes an annual home garden competition since 1991 and an organic vegetable garden competition since 2012. The 27th home garden competition was judged on 12th and 19th January, and the prize winners will be announced shortly. There were some new participants this year also. There is a marked improvement in the quantity and range of vegetables grown in Goa during the recent years. Among the contestants, 2 of last year's prize winners have enlarged their vegetable plots and are hot contenders for prizes this year also. The terrace of St. Joseph's Primary School, Baina, Vasco, has an impressive collection of plants in pots and large square throws of planks lined with polythene and filled with soil, cocoa peat, compost and charcoal bits, in which the students have grown amarthus. Sweet potato, basil and potato have replaced bazella, kanuf, spring onions, tomato and cowpea that were grown by students of the class 3 last year. There is a nice pot with strawberries hanging from it. The students continue learning to work individually and collectively at such a tender age. One still hopes that more primary schools could encourage this.
I'm Gurudat Naik from Borda, Margao. I'm a lover of plants and animals, just growing all sorts of plants, vegetables, and as of now, adeniums are my favorite. I prefer to grow trees, plants, just because it gives us a lot of oxygen and it helps to provide a very green surrounding.
Maria Amaral, I'm from Batora Kurturi, and these are my kids, Rachel Amaral and Aloysius Amaral, and I can say that gardening is my passion, and these are all the produce that I have grown at home. This is the Tidki Midki, commonly known in Konkani. This is radish, and this is the cluster bean, and
well, the garden has changed a lot since when we were kids, I can say, thanks to my mom's hard work. And it's a totally different experience eating fresh grown home produce as compared to any store-bought vegetables, I would say.
Not many kids nowadays have the actual experience of just going out into the garden, picking out some fruits, picking out their own vegetables and making it. The maximum they will get is picking it out of the shelves or from the store. So I can say it's thanks to my mom for giving us that experience in life.
I am Miguel Roque Fernandez. I live in Borda. I have a small terrace garden where I have mostly vegetables for salads. I have Tokyo Becana, I have coriander, I have kale, then I also have pok choy, I have oregano. For a very long time I've been interested in growing. I was interested in first bonsai.
My name is Marvelyn Dias. I plant mainly to attract birds. So I look to see what plants can feed them, as well as what plants will give color to my garden at the same time, and add beauty as well as take care of my butterflies and bees and birds.
I am Karuna from St. Joseph School, Vasco, primary section, and we have started one unique project from last year, that is gardening, terrace gardening project. Here we are growing some vegetables with our children, and this gardening is taken as a subject for our students. Every week students will come on the terrace, and we all are trying to grow some vegetables.
I am Samik from class 3A. I have grown onion and fennel. I have studied about them. The botanical name of fennel is Phoeniculum vulgare.
I am Shifa from class 3A. I have studied about potato and methi. The botanical name of potato is Solanum tubersum.
15 devotees who had submitted their names to the Minister of State for Defence are waiting for the permission to visit the island of Anjandev to celebrate the feast of Our Lady of Spring on Anjandeva Island. The church, which was built over 400 years ago, is reportedly the first church to be built in India outside of Kerala. Since 2004, devotees from Goa and North Karnataka have been requesting the defence authorities and elected members to permit them to celebrate the feast. Republic Day is a national holiday in India. It honors the date on which the Constitution of India came into effect on 26 January 1950, replacing the Government of India Act of 1935 as the governing document of India, and thus turning the nation into a newly formed republic. 26 January was chosen as the date for Republic Day because it was on this day in 1929 when the Declaration of Indian Independence was proclaimed by the Indian National Congress as opposed to the Dominion status offered by the British regime. In the state of Goa, the Republic Day was celebrated with a lot of fanfare and enthusiasm.
माझे संकरेता दुसरो प्लेटून इंडियन नेव्हीचो लेफ्टनंट अनु गोहरानी हांच्या मुखेलपणाखाला 13वी पलटण अवर लेडी ऑफ द रोजरी हायस्कूलची केरळ गौमेश आणि श्रुती दवणे हांच्या मुखेलपणाखाला विद्यार्थी बळीराव बेडगेवार हायस्कूलची विद्यार्थ्यांचो हो पंगड पंगडाचे मुखेली तनय सोयरू.
Goa is one of the fastest growing states in the country. It has a well-developed social, physical, industrial, tourism, sports infrastructure and virtual connectivity. It has significant port infrastructure and will soon get its own international airport, which would boost the tourism industry in Goa and help socio-economic development in the region.
Catholic Charismatic Renewal in Goa will be celebrating its Golden Jubilee in October 2022. A launching ceremony to mark 1000 days was held in Mumbai on January 26 to begin the spiritual preparation for this important landmark. Over 300 persons from all over India attended the program, which culminated in the celebration of the Eucharist by Cardinal Oswald Gracious. The Cardinal also released the logo of this mega convention. Musicians from across Goa will come together to celebrate the Muskache Fest with the visually impaired and the National Association of the Blind Goa State Branch. The interesting part of this fest is that workshops for the visually impaired on various topics were conducted from January 27th to February 1st. Training sessions included singing, pottery, chess, football and gardening.
हांव प्रकाश कामत आमी नॅशनल असोसिएशन ऑफ ब्लायंड सांताक्रूज तांच्या प्रिमायसिसाच्या भायल्यान आसा हांगा फेस्ताचो मुस्काचे फेस्त 2 फेब्रुवारीक जावपाचें आसा ताजो बोवाळ आसा बोवाळ कसलो तर ते निमतान डिसेबल्ड भुरगीं पळय आसा विज्युअली इम्पेर्ड नॅशनल असोसिएशन ऑफ ब्लायंडाक आसा सादारण 27-30 भुरगीं तांचे वेगवेगळे वर्कशॉप तांच्यो स्किल्स होन करपाक वाडोवपाक वेगवेगळे वर्कशॉप हांगा चालू आसा.
Hello, I'm Marius Fernandez. I organize many people's festivals around Goa. I was approached to create a festival for the National Association of the Blind in Santa Cruz, along with lots of friends from around Goa. So we thought it would be a good idea if we have a workshop before the festival. But before that, 1 week ahead, we started workshops on the 27th. The idea was to sensitize people about the differently able, the visually impaired. So we have created a festival called Musganche Fest, celebrating the musicians of Goa. Santa Cruz village is famous for musicians, singers, dancers, composers. So this is the right village. That's what we thought that this festival should happen. And it's a really happy news that the whole village of Santa Cruz and people have come together to do this fest. So tell us what you're doing.
I'm knitting the baskets.
Yeah, knitting the baskets.
Yes.
And how long have you been doing this?
I learned last year.
Where you learned?
I learned in Bombay from one of my cousins.
माझं नाव निंपा फेर्नांडीस आमची भुरगीं पिड्यार सांपल्यार घरांत इंटरनेट कनेक्शन आसून आतां कोण तुजे लागीं उलयता पळयतो कंप्युटराचेर येता दिसून.
The Diocesan Catechetical Center, supported by Can Survive, presented a Lenten Tiat, What's Ani Tumi Toshet's Kor. Michael Gracious has written the script and has directed the Tiat. It had its inaugural show at Raya on January 30th. Nirmala Institute of Education Alti in Panjim celebrated Abulyache Fest with the theme Goinchi Mati. The fest is aimed at reviving the age-old Goan socio-cultural ethos by celebrating its music, dance, food, sports, art and crafts and theatre of the bygone years.
कृष्णाच्या गळ्यांतल्यो माळो ग बाई फुलाचो पाटुलो केलो बाई होळीच्या पुनवेक वेलो कृष्णाच्या गळ्यात यो माळो ग बाई फुलाचा पाठुलो केलो ग बाई होळीच्या पुनवेक वेलो ला 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 ला.
I'm Dr. Rita Page, Director of Nirmala Institute of Education. The idea of having a festival like this began right in 2000, where the English students had a project on Goa. It was then extended to the whole student body, and we called it Goa Day. That began in 2001. Over the years, we have used different themes like the comunidades, the sluice gates, the manos, and other themes. This year, we have chosen the theme of Goinchi Mati. And unless we do something to rediscover and to work on our soil, we are going to lose much in Goa and become people who are dependent on all kinds of things except the bounty of nature. Thank you.
And that's all we have for the moment. We shall see you again with a new episode of the Catholic Weekly News next Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Thank you for watching and have a great week ahead.